Hello everyone, welcome back to Shonky Lab. I'm Elton, and this week we have once again Mr. Lee Medcalf as the guest producer. How are you doing?
I'm fine. I'm feeling good, despite the fact that like 50% of my podcast team has basically abandoned me to go off to do other things that are more interesting.
Shame on them. Shame on them, I say.
So here we are. Yes, I'm feeling good.
Yes, and I was going to go live with this one as well, but what I've discovered, or what I think is happening, is the cold weather is affecting the internet.
Yes,
Let that sink in.
Yeah, it's because the farm animals that surround your village are basically huddling around the internet exchange for warmth.
Yeah,
nice. All the pigeons sitting on top of the bloody fans, just overheating your internet connection.
It could be something. It's very rural out here. We like I've said before, we don't even have gas in the village. We don't have gas.
I don't know. The listeners to this podcast might beg to differ.
Yeah, it's true.
We've got gas in abundance.
But yeah, I have a theory that the cold weather is affecting the internet, and I've had problems recording other stuff with Andy when we do the Into The Expanse, and others. Even when we're doing the Black Dog, I can hear you guys crackling up. I think that's the incoming signal from everything being piped down the line, and so it goes a bit crackly. And I'm like, oh God, it's my turn to speak. Please hold up, please hold up. And sometimes it does, and sometimes it doesn't. So.
Okay,
it's an ongoing thing, but
well, it sounds fine at the moment, so let's not worry about it. You're fine, Elton. This is a safe space for your shitty internet. It's your podcast. It's all good.
Yeah.
It sounds good from here.
My sandbox, and I can do whatever I can shit in this sandbox if I want.
You can kick all the sand over the edge if you like, and just piss on the borders. It's fine. You can lay a musk trail all the way around the edge. You can wipe your ass like a dog, sort of dragging it across the carpet if you like. It's completely up to you.
Yes, there's something that hasn't happened in my house ever.
That you know of.
That I know of. Yes. Anyway, we're here to talk about stuff, and I stuck this up on the Facebook because I wanted to do something, because I need to do something for the Shonky Lab. And I asked for subjects and a guest, and you popped up for a guest. So thank you very much for that. And we had a few replies on this subject. So what are we going to do? Are we going to go down this road or what?
Well, we can give it a go. I mean, the subject that I put forward initially was that there's a lot of anniversaries coming up this year, which are making me feel increasingly old.
Yeah.
And after saying that, there was a couple of other people on the Shonky Lab group, Mark Griffin, who said things like, love to hear you chat about hobbies and gaming and magazines in the heyday pre-internet, when you'd happily stand in front of W.H. Smith's. And Chris Johnson said about Saturday morning TV.
Yeah.
And I was just going on about things that made you feel old, and it all seemed to be like circling the same thing. So
yeah, they are kind of all joined at the hip, really, aren't they? That sort of stuff. No pun intended.
I mean, no, yeah, the joined at the false hip.
Yeah, at the ball joint that's really cracked.
Yeah, that I've fallen down and I can't get up. I'm going to press my emergency button. Help.
That has no gristle in between the joints, and it's just bone on bone. And it's been like that for years.
Yeah, but don't worry, I don't like to bother anyone. No. Anybody wants a cup of tea and a muffin?
You wouldn't know. I don't complain about it much. Just when I get out of the chairs, going.
Yeah. I mean that's almost the thing in itself. I mean, when I went to Martin Thompson's 40th birthday, and it was quite funny how many people who are 40 or above would refer to something to him, as a newly minted 40-something.
Ah, yes.
And say something, well, you see, it all changes when you get to our age. And it's like, as soon as you start using phrases like our age and my age, it's like, you've passed from young person thinking that they're just growing up to be an adult into old person looking at everyone under the age of 40 as a young'un.
In one foul swoop as well, isn't it? I think, isn't 40 the... Because I turned 40 mid last year, and that is the first age group which all bring you all together and turn around and say, when you reach our age. When you're 30, you don't have the when you reach our age. You don't have that at all, do you?
Nope. You just go, I'm 30. Oh, my 20s are behind me. And or something like that. But you don't ever sit there and go, when you're our age to other 30-year-olds. 40 is when you suddenly go, yeah, I remember parents being this age.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
That's right, yeah. The baton has been passed.
That's it. And you find yourself doing things that your parents used to do, or say to younger people. It's like you never feel the benefit, when you tell them to take their coats off when you go inside. See,
I say that, but I say that in like my tongue is firmly in my cheek when I'm saying that.
But is it though?
It is. But I do feel the benefit if I take it off and then put it on later. But my tongue is firmly in my cheek when I sat down with a work colleague the other day. We got into like a Costa to have a drink in there. And he was still wrapped up and said, well, I'm going to take all this off. Otherwise, I won't feel the benefit when I go outside. And he kind of rolled his eyes at me. But well, okay, it's kind of true. So, you're the loser when you go out there and you're cold. But I was kind of mocking myself, but know that it is slightly true at heart.
Yeah, exactly. And things like when you walk into the house and you find that one of the doors hasn't been shut, and you go, or you say, oh, were you born in a barn? It's fucking free. Close the door. Or when you sort of notice that they've left all the lights on, it's like Blackpool Illuminations in here.
I'm constantly doing the lights.
Yeah, me too.
Certain members of my family like to walk around and turn them on, and I just follow them around, turning them off.
Yeah, it's like kind of a reverse Pac-Man, isn't it? It's kind of going around a maze, just turning everything off. Yeah, so yeah, it's age. That's what we're talking about, isn't it? We're talking about getting old and realizing it.
Yeah, and what point do we realize it? So, okay, is it more based in films that you first notice this sort of thing? Because you said there were a couple of anniversaries coming up. What anniversaries do we have coming up?
We're up to our fucking neck in them. This year is a proper biggie. Like for example, Young Frankenstein. Yeah. Absolute classic. 45 years old this year.
Holy crap!
Yeah, Alien. 40 years old this year.
Oh, God.
In fact, 40 years old in May.
Yeah.
The first Muppet movie, also 40 years old.
Really?
Yeah.
Man alive.
Exactly. And as soon as that starts to happen, as soon as you start going through it, you're like, oh, shit. And it sort of really hits you in your face, especially things like Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters is 35 years old this year.
Yeah.
And Temple of Doom is the same. And it's like, oh, no. You suddenly start to realize quite how much time has passed, because you sort of feel like, yeah, it was down the road a little bit, but it wasn't too bad. But suddenly you go, oh yeah, Matrix, that's 20 years old now. And it's like, the Matrix. Oh.
Shit, a brick it was, yeah.
That and Phantom Menace, 20 years old.
Do you know, that means my DVD player must be coming up for 20 years old.
That's right. Yeah. Easy.
Holy.
You suddenly sort of start realizing that a massive amount of time has passed, and it's kind of cultural markers that really kind of bring it home. It's like, did you ever used to watch Spaced?
No, I haven't. No. I know about it. I know who's in it, and maybe that's the reason why I haven't seen it.
Because
Darren will
that's
kill me
20.
for that. I know it.
Yeah, well, he won't listen to this.
No,
No, it's 20 years old this year. So there we were watching it on Channel 4 go, wow, this is like it's speaking to us in our teens.
yeah.
And it's like, that's 20 years ago, actually.
See, you put the Phantom Menace is 20 years old as well.
Yeah. And The Lion King is 25 years old.
Never seen it, so it doesn't mean anything to me, that.
Oh, okay. What about The Mask?
Oh.
Old Jim Carrey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was Cameron Diaz's first movie as well, wasn't it?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes. What an entrance.
That was a moment. That was definitely a moment. But Matrix, 20 years ago, The Matrix, sitting there going, fucking hell. And the South Park movie and The Iron Giant, they're all 20 years old.
Oh, God. Yeah. Okay. South Park. I saw that. Who did I go see? I saw that in the cinema with, I think, my sister-in-law and brother-in-law and a few friends. And we laughed and hooted at the first 10 minutes, especially with the, what are the two Canadian guys, when they did their little bit.
Terrence and Phillip.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, when they had their song. And then...
That's
it,
yeah.
And then it was like deadly quiet after that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Apart from like a couple of dildo jokes. And you're like, okay, fair enough. But
and Satan waggling, was it Saddam Hussein buggering Satan?
That's it, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of it was all right, but yeah. The problem I get that these movies are 20 years old. I think that doesn't really work. I suppose when Alien becomes 40, that's a bit, that's like a old movie now.
Well, I mean, look at it another way. Star Wars is 42 years old.
Yeah. Star Wars is older than me. Flipping hell.
Yeah, and it's only 6 years old. I'm only 6 years older than it.
Yeah.
7 years, actually. 7 years older than Star Wars. I mean, that's just like, and then you go like Close Encounters is 41 years old. It's just as soon as you start putting these kind of cultural markers down, you kind of go, oh, Christ. I mean,
it's that collection of movies that I try to get the kids into as well. And I point them towards it. And sometimes I get them to sit down and watch. I got my boy to sit down and watch Predator with me. Maybe a year or so ago. And because I think I was around that sort of age when I watched it. And I haven't tried Alien. We've done Aliens, though, because I thought that'd be easier to get into. And there is a sort of boundary there. I suppose it would be similar to my dad trying to sit me down and watch black and white movies. I'm like, whoa, hang on, no, there's a massive thing that I don't like here, and it's really in my face, and it's black and white, and it ain't going to happen. But I've learned to love that sort of stuff now.
Yeah. I mean, it's for me with this sort of stuff. I mean, it's kind of like, I remember my first job, and there was a guy who worked there, and he's a little bit older than me, and he was saying, it was like, he was talking about something, I can't remember what it was, and he goes, it's a real cultural moment, like when you sat down and you watched the moon landings. And I was like, I wasn't born for 2 years until after the moon landings, and you just see his face drop, and I thought, yeah, you old fuck. And then it's like, now here I am thinking, hold on, I remember sitting there at the dawn of the internet going, do you know what? These three kids got lost in a woods, and their footage was found in the woods. Look, it's amazing. And now they put all the footage together. Oh, this is going to be so scary. It's going to be so scary. And that was 20 fucking years ago as well.
Jesus.
The Blair Witch Project is 20 years old.
I got so sucked into that as well. I didn't have internet around my house, or I don't think Amanda had around at her house either. But the brother-in-law did. And I fell for that hook, line, and sinker. And I think that's half the reason why I love that film so much.
Yeah, me too. I mean, it was hook, line, sinker, and copy of Angling Times. I was well into it.
Yeah.
It was only after I saw the film, it was like, oh, okay, maybe not.
No, I came out going, oh my God, that's amazing.
Yeah. Well, no, I was well into it. I thought it was terrifying. And but that's just because I don't like being more than 600 feet away from an electrical socket.
Yeah.
But, going out in the woods is just not my idea of a fun time. But, that film for me, it was one of those moments of kind of like watching the internet almost do something really, really powerful. Yeah. And it's kind of a hint of what it was do in the future. And I'm sitting there going, this is amazing. Look what they've done. They've conned all these people. They've conned me. They've conned the world. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And then, nowadays it's like, oh, it's another found footage film. Yeah, all right, fine. Here's another fake website. Whatever.
Yeah, J.J. Abrams opens up a new fake website just to lord up his new Cloverfield movie.
Yeah. Another picture of Slusho somewhere randomly stuck on a cup of tea or something, and then you're like, oh, Slusho, it means something. No, it really doesn't. But yeah, so it was just those kind of things kind of started hitting me like quite hard in recent years, and I'm like, oh God, I actually do feel old. I really do.
Do you?
And it's just,
are you feeling it now? Are you?
It's kind of weird. You kind of sitting there going, no, I don't feel old. I mean, I'm actually arguably healthier than I've been in the last 15 years, but right now, and that's fine. But there's little things where you're sitting there kind of going, yeah, 20 years ago that beard was a lot darker than it is now, and and when you sort of go, oh, I can't do running today because I've hurt myself. How did you hurt yourself? I took my shoes off. Those aren't things that young people say. They don't pull muscles in their legs by taking off a shoe. And it's just little things like that where you're starting to go, yeah, my body's running right now, but let's be honest, it's on borrowed time. It really is.
Yeah, I don't get like pulling muscles in leg. I get the back thing.
Oh yeah, you can't stand for too long.
Well, I'll either be working in the garden. I'll have like a chill on my back, and that'll do me. That will knock me out for a weekend. Or I'll twist. I'll twist in the way that I've twisted millions of times before, but this time something goes wrong, and there's like a nerve that went, oh, do you know what? I fancy being in between them two bits of bone right there. And, and that's it. You're like, oh, holy moly, this is really killing me. And when you're sat down, it's like, oh, that's all right. I've got a dull ache. I've got a hot water bottle. Because, that's another thing. That's like a recovery pack for an old person, isn't it? Break out the hot water bottles.
Yeah. You can stick them in the fridge as well, just in case you need an ice pack.
Yeah, that's right. Actually, we do that for the kids. The kids want that during the hot summers.
Yeah.
They have them for them. But you'll be sat down, you have a hot water bottle, and you'll be like, okay, right, I'm fine here. Look, I can move on the sofa. Look at me. Oh, I'll just try and get up. And you're like, oh, no, there's a certain point where you have to tip your whole body forward. You're like, okay, right, I'm going to gracefully and slowly move this top half of my torso up into the upright position. And your shoulders go back first, and so you're kind of arched outwards, so your stomach's like poking out. It's like, yeah, this is really pretty. You're like a demented peacock.
Yeah.
You're trying to straighten up.
Yeah, you're trying to do the world's worst Mick Jagger impression.
That's it, yeah. I imagine Mick Jagger is doing this right about now as well.
Yeah, he's getting paid for it, and he still can stand up afterwards.
Yeah, that's right. And he can still touch the toes and put his hands flat on the floor as well. You're like, you son of a bitch. Son of a bitch.
Yeah. It's amazing what millions and millions of pounds will do for you.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And like 7 personal trainers as well.
But see, now that's the kind of conversation that old people have. You see, we went straight from talking about how good he was to going grumble. He's got
we
stuff
did. Well, that's what you're supposed to do, isn't it? Surely.
Yeah, but it suddenly turns into Les Dawson as that washerwoman over the sort of fence. It immediately turns. That's the thing. Everything becomes gossip and grumbles now. It's not like, isn't it amazing? It's just like, oh, fucking hell, look at the state of him. Yeah, well, I would be that good if I had 100 million quid.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
You can't help it, though.
No, there's no hero worship anymore. It's just sitting there going, yeah, fucker, you had all the chances I never did.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Oh, man, yeah, and you kind of feel it slipping away. I don't feel my age at all. And I think a lot of people say that, and I think people will continue to say that as well. I'm pretty sure I'll say that up until probably about 60, and then it'll be like, oh no, I'm feeling it, then retire around about 70 if I don't drop dead before then. And then all of a sudden you have like a second wind of, I can do anything. I can climb this ladder. It'd be fine. What's the worst that can happen? I had that with my next door neighbour. They were in their 70s when they moved in, and he decided to fit a loft ladder. Now,
right.
What's the best way of screwing in a loft ladder? Loft ladder. He decided to stand on said loft ladder while he was screwing it in, didn't he?
Oh, nice.
And when he fell out the loft and we heard his screams of pain, I think that put maybe 5 years on him straight off the bat.
Yeah, unsurprisingly. Probably took 5 years off him and all.
Oh, well, yeah. But his look, everything just, up until that point, it was all at fast pace, no cares in the world. Dodge that banana skin, it'll be all right. Dodge that ice, skippity-doo-dah, all the way down the road. And when that happened, the weeks and months after that, and years after that, it was, no, there's a definite drop-off in pace. It's like he was a... It's like he's a gun in a game. And when you use a gun in the game and all of a sudden they have like 2 points knocked off because they're a bit worn out. He'd just miraculously lost 2 points for accuracy.
Yeah. I mean, that's another thing, isn't it? When you start talking about games and you sort of going, oh, wear and tear on guns, you suddenly go, yeah, but I remember playing games where you just had a gun.
Yeah.
You just fired a fucking gun. You didn't have to sit there and go crafting 600 fucking daffodils and a big lump of iron and keep your character fed and make sure they shit in a pond or something. It's just like, you just used to play it, run around and shoot shit. And then you get into that conversation, you're like, oh, God, I'm old.
Yeah. Okay. Right. You've just awoken something in me.
Madam.
It is this, it's not the craft, I suppose it is the crafting part of games, because that is such a thing in video games now, and I can't get my head around it. That is a major brick wall. Also with the jumping around and shooting and fast scoping and stuff like that, once all that started on the internet and on video games, that was it. I was, okay, I'm out my depth now. I ain't going to be doing this. Yeah. But my boy plays FIFA, as you well know, and
yes,
it's not a game now that they play. It's more like a card game that they have, like transferring cards and stuff like that. And that is way out of my league. I do not understand that now.
Yeah, it starts turning into a job, an actual job, and that's the thing. Again, it's another one of these kind of the passing of a generation, because they all find this shit like normal, and you're sitting there going, but why is this stuff normal? And who took a vote when I wasn't around?
Yeah.
You know, it's like, yeah, the crafting, the matchmaking, the obsession with multiplayer games. I mean, I remember when it used to be a little treat. You occasionally go online and maybe play against a couple of people and that'd be it. Nowadays, there's games which are just nothing but multiplayer. And you're sitting there going, but I want to play a story. I want to play an adventure. I want to be the hero, not a bunch of heroes, and not one where my co-pilot is called Cocknubble of 55 or something like that.
Little keeps doing his stupid dance as well.
Oh yeah. There's some tit head who's sort of like sitting in the cockpit of my spaceship, and he keeps thinking it's funny to stand there in a bright pink uniform doing a flossing movement. What the fuck? We're in a serious adventure story here, and then suddenly along comes Edgelord 8562 Gog, and you go, what the fuck are you doing? And then he's sitting there like with a bright pink Power Rangers helmet on, going, hey, wearing nothing but leopard skin pants. You think, what?
Put your trousers back on, man. No, I'm not going to. If anything, I'm going to take more off. Son of a bitch.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna pull a radio out of my arse and start playing that instead. Like, you're in the middle of a battle, in the middle of a war, on a far distant world. You're standing there in leopard skin pants and a fucking cowboy hat, playing music from a boombox and shooting people with pea shooters. What the fuck is that all about?
Take this seriously, please.
Exactly.
It's like the people that used to or still do the reenactments. Imagine if someone just rocked up in their leather skin banana thong and just started waggling it around.
Yeah, like what was it? Like Jackass, where Steve-O who used to do that. He used to rip everything off, and he used to be wearing just a little bow tie and a little thong.
It was Steve-O, but you also had the other guy, not Disco Dan. There was another guy as well, wasn't there?
Bam Margaret? Oh, or am I getting them all wrong?
No, he was a skateboarder. There was another guy.
Yeah, but the point is, it's still that whole thing of like, you're just like, you're not taking this seriously. When did everyone decide that they weren't taking this seriously? And why can't I play something where I can do it on my own and you lot can all fuck off somewhere else? And it's like, oh God, I'm old.
So I think that crept in, as I said earlier on, with the no scoping and the fast scoping and the jumping around. And that has slowly built up to where we are now. When you had, I went online properly with Call of Duty Modern Warfare. That was like a massive leap, because Call of Duty 3 was all right. But there was none of this hopping around. And what I noticed, it was more on Xbox than on PlayStation. I think that came from Halo. But it was the tactic of, we just jump around and bounce around and you can't hit that. And the first time I encountered that, I was like, what the hell are you doing? That's not realistic. Why are you doing that? Don't do that. But it was just me not being able to flow into that and adjust to that situation.
Yeah, and it's that, again, it's that moment of just realizing that the world's moved on. I mean, not to sort of overdwell on games, but it's it's now the fact that I'm sitting there looking at my Steam library of games for my PC and going, and I'm looking at like thousands upon thousands of games, and then I'm looking at the ones I really want to play, and it's like they're management sims and sort of looking after cities and managing galactic empires and all this sort of thing. It's like, I don't want to shoot things anymore, because you know what? Every time I do, I get dumped in with a bunch of arse hats who are all 12 and think that by shouting "fuck your mum" over the headphones, it's conversation. It's just like, what? It's just like, oh God.
I kind of miss them days, because
really,
I miss the days of going to bed going to bed as well, but going to bed really late after having a massive session on either the PlayStation or the Xbox or whatever it was, and just jumping in on a game and just not even griefing people, but just having a giggle with them. They're getting wound up because they're trying to call you all the names under the sun, and you're just laughing it off. You're like, come on, more, give me more, and they're like, what? We don't understand this. We keep feeding you bad stuff, and that's not working. You should have cleared off by now. And
you are the worst.
Me?
Yeah, and it's someone just turning up and griefing me on my fucking game. Oh, I would have hunted you down and beat you to death with your controller.
See, I wasn't griefing in the game per se. It was just the conversation. I'd be playing the game normally, but the conversation of twats trying to have a go at me, I'd laugh it off.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Okay. No, you're forgiven.
Yeah, I don't go in there and grief or anything like that. Because that'd just drive me out the wall. I couldn't even deal with that. I'd feel too bad as well. I really would. I'd have sad emojis coming out me.
Yeah, but that's the thing, isn't it? Nowadays, that's almost a done deal.
That's the game.
That's the game. I mean, again, not wanting to stay with the games, but I remember when you used to play a game and it used to be the whole game. What happened to that? When you used to play a game and you used to unlock characters, and when you used to unlock maps by being good, not by paying like an extra 20 quid on top of the 60 quid you've already paid.
I blame the people that pay for it, though.
Well, yeah, but then if you got a thing that's a story content, and the story content, the actual ending of the game is another 5 quid, it's like, really? You're holding the actual ending of a story I've been playing for like the last 100 hours behind a paywall? Fuck you.
That's the future. That is the future. They give you the freebie at the beginning. They're just trying to get you hooked on the crack. And once you need that ending, then you have to pay for it, man. You have to pay for it.
Which is what I'm saying. That's when and everyone seems to be justifying it. You see it on bloody Reddit all over the place. People going, yes, but if you don't pay the extra 20 quid, then people don't have the money to make the next game. It's like, motherfucker, I paid them 60 no's to get the game in the first place. It's
one of the biggest industries in the world, isn't it?
Yeah, didn't like Grand Theft Auto make like $1 billion or something last year? Or something? It's just like,
yes, yeah, it did. Yeah,
they're not running out of cash anytime soon. As long as you're paying it, you knob.
And that's like that's an 8-year-old game as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's like I picked up a game. Oh, I haven't bought it, but I've tried the demo of it called Anthem. It's all online, and then if you want your thing to look nice and cool, they're selling skins to make your man look nice and cool, or your lady look nice and cool. Guess how much to make it look cool? 20 quid.
What? A skin?
Yeah. See, this is why I feel old, because no one else gives a shit about this, and I'm sitting there now, and you and me are going, 20 quid for a fucking skin? It's like...
So I'd grumble at like 3 quid.
I grumble at buying like anything for a game that I've already paid for.
It's a digital thing. It's not real. You can't pick it up.
Yeah. See? And again, getting old. Digital shit. Stuff that you stream. It's only there as long as they let you have it. Turn it off. Like my bloody video stuff from Talk TV.
There we go. There we go.
What? Yeah, you knew it was coming.
I'm looking forward to this, Bob. Go for it.
It's like I've got a library of stuff that I bought from Talk TV. It cost me in total, probably over the course of so many years, probably about 120 quid. And it's like suddenly Talk TV go, yeah, we're selling all of our stuff off to Rakuten TV or whatever they're called. And then Rakuten TV go, yeah, we haven't got half of this stuff on our library. We haven't paid for the licenses for that. So we'll let you know when it comes back. And it's like, I paid 10 quid for the bloody Flash box set. You give me the fucking Flash. I want to watch it. Oh, no, I'm sorry. It's not on our list. It's not on our list yet. It's like, when is it going to be on our list? Oh, soon. But in the meantime, have some Rakuten points so you can buy some other shit off of our library. What? And your library's going to be around for eternity, is it? Fuck off. all this digital bollocks. I mean, I've got music on CD, and it's like, that's good. But now you can only buy it on digital downloads. And it's like, great. And as long as Amazon's still working, I'll still have music. But when it doesn't, fuck you, mate. You're off.
Yeah, you're gone, aren't you?
Exactly. And that's why I feel old. This is why I feel old. The world has moved on, and no one can see the problems coming. I can see it all coming. You're just going to, one day, just bad investment. Amazon turns off, or Apple turns off, and suddenly the App Store disappears and all your games and everything you've ever bought just goes away.
Yep. And you knew it could happen one day, because I'm sure it's in that contract somewhere. It's not going to be around forever.
No, and then that's why they make you back it up. But you back it up to your own local library, and that only works once you've authorized it through Apple. So even that's going to switch off.
Yeah,
it's like, I mean, what? This is where I really do start to feel old. I just think I don't understand why people are just blindly storming into this and going, "Yay, it's brilliant." It's like, no, I'm going to be the only fucker with a Blu-ray player and all my films on Blu-ray, while you're all sitting there trying to drum up a copy of Predator from some dodgy pirate site because everything's gone.
Well, yeah, I'm going to be sat there with the Blu-ray player and the DVD player as well. I'm quite happy with DVDs at the moment, but all these streaming services and these people that want to sell you the streaming services, they're just sat there going, come to me, brilliant. And there's going to be more and more. Everything's going this streaming direction. I don't think we have the infrastructure yet to do gaming constantly streaming.
Hey, no, don't be too sure about that.
No,
they've already tried it with the Steam. They tried it with the Steam machine.
Yep.
And rumors have it that there won't be a media slot on the new Xbox or the new PlayStation. There'll only be a USB for the sort of like backing shit up, but there won't actually be any way of actually buying from a shop.
I think that's a bad idea.
Well, yeah. But again, everyone's quite happy about it. Everyone's quite excited about it. Oh, I can get the game on day one. And it's like, right. So going to Argos and buying it off of Argos wasn't going to happen, right?
The thing that they're not looking at, though, is how many copies do games sell? I don't know. Let's say Grand Theft Auto, the next one, sells 1 million copies on day one. And I'm sure it's going to be more than that, but let's just for some totals. And I reckon at the moment, maybe 300,000 of them are streamed straight off. The rest of it are hard copies. And you can pull that stream down. That's not a problem. But when you have the other 700,000 people that want to pull that down as well, that is just adding to problems. And then it's going to need to be patched as well.
That doesn't seem to bother anyone. I mean, it's like, Grand Theft Auto sold 11.2 million copies. Yeah?
Yeah.
And they are making $800 million worldwide a year. Now, they don't care. They don't really give two shits if you have to sit there and download, I don't know, 50, 60 gig of patch on day one. That's been almost standard for pretty much everything. I bought a copy of, Shadow of Mordor, Battle of Middle-earth, or whatever it was.
Okay.
And literally, I installed it. It installed 25 gig of stuff and then went, oh, we've got a patch. And then 45 gig came rolling down the hill on the same day.
Like Gandalf.
Exactly. With a bunch of riders behind him. I mean, it literally took like a day and a half just to fucking install the thing. And it was just like, right. So that's that. And that didn't bother anyone. And Mass Effect 3, I got that, installed that. By the time I installed it, it went, oh, there's a DLC with a character that really is part of the story, but, you need to buy it on the first day. And it's like, what? I need to actually buy a £5 extra story content on the first day for the game that I've just bought.
Bollocks.
Yeah, seriously. And that's just the start of it.
So
there's lots more.
If you hadn't bought that character, you couldn't have played the game?
No, I could have played the game, but I would have lost half the story.
The hell?
There's a whole bunch of story. I won't go into it, but to suffice to say, it would be like buying Star Wars on Blu-ray and then being told that if you want Obi-Wan Kenobi in it, you have to buy a USB with the extra files.
Yeah, no scenes with Obi-Wan on there at all.
Yeah, so the film would have still been Star Wars, but there would have been some key elements of Star Wars not there. Luke would have just rocked up in a bar and found a space pirate, and he would have still gone off to the Death Star. But, yeah, but certain scenes would have been completely missing.
They would have been, yeah.
Yeah. But
how did the deflector shield the tractor beam be deactivated?
They were allowed to fly away.
Yeah.
They were just allowed to fly away. And even Leia says it. You know, they let us go.
Imagine if that had happened and the internet would have gone bonkers before that as well. Like, Darth Vader, he's just stamping on this rug on the floor for no reason whatsoever. Last time we saw him.
You wouldn't have even seen it. You would have just seen him go, you know, I sensed something I've not felt since. And then you would have had him it would have been him referring to Luke. And then he would have just been walking towards the Falcon as the Falcon goes to fly away.
Yeah.
After they rescue the princess. And it's like he's doing it for an act because they let him go. And then Leia says, they let us go. So it all patches away. You could patch Obi-Wan out entirely.
I like this idea.
Yeah. So if you want Star Wars with the Obi-Wan Kenobi character patched back in, buy the DVD, but then buy a USB stick on the same day for an extra £5.
I would rather be charged the extra £5 in the initial recommended retail price than buy the game and then be made to pay the extra after. I'd rather than just be upfront with it.
Yeah, but they won't do it. That's what I'm saying. They wouldn't turn around and say, you have to have this character. They just say, this character is an extra bit of content that would add extra bits to your story and would flesh everything out. Right. And it's like, well, that's lovely. I'd like to have that, please, because this is a story-based game.
Yeah.
Hey, there you go. But if you didn't have it, doesn't matter. Game still plays the way it does.
Yeah.
Anyway, I digress.
Are there any situations where someone will say, "Oh, I bet you feel old now," and you just look at them and it just glances off you? You have that Zen moment of, "No, I don't feel old. I feel perfectly fine. It's just the progression of time." Because I get them sometimes.
Do you?
Yeah, right.
Well,
for instance,
you're doing better than me, so you go for it. Go on.
For instance, there's a lady in the office that I work at, and how old is she? I think she's coming up to her 25th birthday. And you remember when you was 25, you was invincible, you bowling it around, you had no problems, you had light years ahead of you in your life, you had so much going for you, no dramas whatsoever, nothing holding you down, you could afford everything, and if you couldn't, you just didn't go out that night, you just stayed in your parents' house or whatever you did. And she's in that position now, and I think she mentioned about her being 25, and that was when I left school. I think I left school on the year that she was born, and every time that's mentioned, she's like, does that make you feel old? And there's like the big Cheshire grin facing me. I'm like, well, no, not really. That's not. It doesn't affect me. That sort of thing doesn't affect me. It's other things affect me when I find out that my God, my washing machine is 15 years old now. That's like, oh, okay. Maybe it's time we need to start thinking about buying a new one.
Yeah, I guess I've not had that situation. I'll be honest with you. Everything which makes me feel old there's never a point where I don't go, oh Christ. But that's because the things that are mentioned often are things which I can attribute to a point in time. Yeah. So I can almost tell you where I was. So if, for example, you know, I you know, someone says, oh, you know, it was like 30 years since the Challenger disaster, or something like that. And you go, oh, fuck, that makes me feel old. Because I remember that when the Challenger disaster happened, I remember the very thing I was doing when it happened. So I was walking down Oxford Street and I was walking past the Sony shop, and it was all kicking off right on the telly. Mm-hmm. And at first I didn't know what I was looking at because it was all just shit flying all over the screen. And then it was only when you noticed that there was a lot of people sort of gathered around it in a sort of like, you know, old TV, you know, like the old TV films and stuff where people would gather around the TV in the window.
Yeah.
And they all look through the window.
Someone get your watch and turn it up with your VR. No, not your VR. Yeah. Your
smartwatch.
Watch. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. I couldn't remember the name of the word.
But you know where, you know, you used to see all people like their noses pressed up against like the shop window looking at the telly going, what's going on? What's going on? You know, and it's like, I remember seeing that sort of situation thinking, oh, that's a bit funny. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, fuck. And it sort of like hits you straight away. Like, oh, something really bad has happened. And it's so when you see situations like that and you say, oh God, yeah, blimey, it's been so many years since the Challenger, and the person sitting beside me at work goes, really? I wasn't born then. You're like, what? What do you mean? You know about the Challenger? No, not really. What? Yeah. And that's the thing. When people you're talking to don't know it, and then you have to explain it, and you find yourself explaining it in a way that makes you sound like an old person going, yeah, well, you know, the old V2 rockets, you always used to listen out for when you couldn't hear them. And it's like, oh, fuck. That's the bit really gets you. It's when you sort of like, you find yourself kind of over explaining everything to people who actually frankly don't give a shit. But you want to tell them you were there, god damn it.
That's right, yeah. See, when I said about the lady at the office and saying that, you know, oh, she's 25 years, that doesn't bother me. But when it is related to something personally that rocked my world at that sort of time, because in 94, Kurt Cobain killed himself, and we had Ayrton Senna crash and kill himself. And I was just turning 16 when all that sort of stuff happened, and that was my world at that time. That was that music and motor racing were my world at that time. And then I may have gone on a skateboard and bikes and stuff like that, but that was fundamentally my life. And it changed within the space of nearly a month. It was just, whoa, everything has rocked. And now that's going to be like 25 years old in April and May. And that gets me going, okay, I remember the 1 year anniversary. I remember the 10-year anniversary. I remember the 20-year anniversary. Now we're at 25. Next will be 30. Then it'll be 40, 50. And then all of a sudden, well, in 2 years' time, Kurt Cobain would have been dead 27 years, where he was 27 when he killed himself. So he's been dead just as long as he's been alive. I find that weird. That feels weird to me. So I have trouble comprehending that, but also looking back on it going, shit, that's old. I was there.
Yeah.
I was there.
Yeah, I mean, it's that whole thing of like being just aware enough of certain things, and then suddenly realizing that these things don't matter as much as they to other people as they do to you. I mean, for example, using music as a good example, and especially deaths of, you know, people's deaths. I mean, like literally 39 years ago, roughly speaking, fucking John Lennon died.
Oh, yes, yeah.
So
19,
you know,
was that 19?
1980.
Yeah, 80.
1980. And in that whole thing of like he went into his house and there was a bloke waiting for him who shot him and all this sort of thing. And it's like, it's 38 years ago, and that's it, 38 years ago. And he kind of goes, you go, bloody hellfire. And that was a real big thing at the time. Or Elvis being found dead on the toilet, in 77. And you're sitting there going, wow. And then you suddenly, like, nowadays everyone's like, yeah, whatever. It's just a bloke who died. And it's no different than, say, someone saying to us, do you remember when, fucking Orson Welles died? It's like, yeah, okay, he did some stuff, but, doesn't affect me as a person. Whereas, if someone like, I don't know, fucking Chris Tarrant dies, or was it, or the guy who played the Phantom Flamflinger, or any of those kind of things start dying, or the guy who played, was it the guy who played Bungle Bear? He's sort of like, those start dying, you suddenly go, oh no, that's like my childhood is dying away. I'm old.
Yeah. It was John Hurt and Alan Rickman were the ones for me.
Oh God, yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, let's be honest. 2016 can fucking well do one.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a bad year for pop culture getting whacked in the cobblers with deaths. I mean, that was a bad one.
Yeah. God just got up one day and then got his desk and went, do you know what? And just got both his hands and just rubbed it across the top of the desk and cleared out. That's all he did.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah. I mean, what was it? It was, it was David Bowie, Alan Rickman, the Prince, Muhammad Ali, Gene Wilder,
George
Robert
Michael
Vaughn.
as well.
George
Yeah.
Michael. I mean, Carrie Fisher. I mean, it was like, oh wow, people who seemed absolutely indestructible, and were right in the middle of your pop culture world. Suddenly, it's like, oh fuck.
But yeah, that was. I'm sure it didn't really mean much to. Like the kids, it didn't really mean much to them, and I'm kind of glad that it didn't as well, because I think the only one they really knew was Alan Rickman, but that was only because of Snape in the Harry Potters.
Yeah,
but then I had to point it out as well,
and
I think the year before I'd only just shown Jacob Die Hard. I was like, no, the guy out of Die Hard, Snape.
Yeah.
Like, oh, him. Oh,
yeah. Well, it was, I mean, David Bowie was the big one in 2016, wasn't he? I mean, really the biggest of the lot. But, I don't know. It's just, again, it's one of those things that moments like that really bring it home, that you kind of like, you're on borrow, I hate to sound like I'm just really just going, oh, we're all going to die. But it's just like, it's one of those moments that just brings it home that, time is moving on.
Yeah.
I get what? So, yeah, fuck time. I'm feeling old. I think that's what the title should be. Fuck time. I'm feeling old.
Yeah.
Is that why you like time travel movies?
Oh yeah. So you can just relate to one day it might actually happen, and it's just me just writing a book, going, okay, right. If I do this, if I get a car and a box and some sort of like fusion device, I might be able to do something.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what. Who do you think, seeing as we're on the Grim Reaper at the moment, who do you think is going to be the next? Let's do some celebrity Deadpool.
Oh, this is a dangerous game, but I'm up for it. Yeah. Okay, let's go for it.
Oh, so who do you think is going to go next? If you're gonna pick someone big and famous.
Okay, one of mine nearly happened at the start of this year.
Go on.
And that was Prince Philip.
Yeah, but let's be honest, he was only taking the Bird Box challenge. He shouldn't have been doing that, frankly.
I don't know. I think he was just doing the Jeremy Clarkson thing of, Well, I can't see anything. What could possibly go wrong? Floor it.
Yeah. Yeah. Only idiots use brakes.
More power.
Yeah. Well, maybe he was just, listening to James Bond. If you listen to James Bond while driving, you're guaranteed to floor it. I guarantee you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I've had Philip on there for a long, long time. I've had Frank Williams on there for a bit as well.
Who's Frank Williams?
He's in Formula One. He owns a Formula One team, and he's the longest living paraplegic in the world.
Right.
But he's well into his 70s, possibly pushing the 80s.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. When you look at the 70s and 80s type ages, you're looking at your sort of Ridley Scotts and your Harrison Ford.
Oh,
I mean, when Indy dies, what's going to happen? Well, nothing really.
Okay, this could be like the other question of it. Okay, who do you reckon will be who's going to affect you the most in the up and coming years? Who's going to pass?
Oh, well, I mean,
who do you want to wrap in bubble wrap right now?
Bill Murray.
Okay,
because he can't be long for this world. Let's be honest. I mean, he's having a lovely old time of it, but every time you see him, he's like a melting candle.
Yeah,
he just sort of looks more and more haggard, and I think that'll be bad. Yeah, Harrison Ford for sure, because he's indie. He's indie. He can't get old.
That's right.
He can't. Just that can't be done. It can't be done. I think Christopher Lloyd, Doc Brown, he can't be long for this world either.
We're not trying to kill people off. It's just we're looking for the shock of, oh my god, that makes me feel old now.
I mean, I think you got to be looking at people like sort of Macaulay Culkin or something like that. Sort of, someone who is younger than you, basically going on like a massive bender and then just dying.
Yeah. Well, weirdly, when I was doing Apotheosis, I suggested maybe Britney Spears might lose it. And then I think about a year later, she had a car crash and shaved all her head.
Yes. Well, that wasn't all she shaved if the paparazzi photos were anything to go
by. That's because of the drugs tests and stuff like that, wasn't it? But allegedly.
Was it really? Was that the reason?
Allegedly.
Right. Okay.
Well, what was the reason you've heard?
I just thought it was a paparazzi restart your career.
Because she was like with that Kevin Federline, I think, and who thought he'd be like the same one out of them two?
Yeah, but that's a push, isn't it?
Hmm.
I mean, okay, go on in. Who do you think is going to be the big one that affects you if she goes?
I think Harrison Ford has to be up there.
Definitely.
Sigourney Weaver has to be up there.
Yeah, see.
David Jason.
Oh God. Can you imagine the Britain will go into every channel will be basically UK gold.
Ain't that for like? It's a big one though, isn't it?
Yeah, for 24 hours, I guarantee you, it'll just be like nothing but open all hours, Only Fools and Horses, Touch of Frost, and Darling Buds and May on every single channel for like a full week.
And everywhere you look, people will be running up and down the street in Batman and Robin costumes.
Yep, or wearing flat caps and going kushti every 5 seconds. Yeah, or replaying that one hilarious clip where he falls through the bar.
Oh, which is definitely not funny anymore.
No, that's definitely not funny anymore. Yeah, I mean, that would be bad, and that would be really bad news. Well, it's going to happen, but he's just, you'd rather it didn't.
Yeah, maybe Bob Dylan as well. He's got to be pushing 80s. That's a personal thing for me.
Yeah. I mean, on that note, I mean, it's, when you start talking about, the remaining 2 members of Pink, well, 3 members if you count Roger Waters of Pink Floyd.
Yeah.
It's like, they're already starting to drop off, so So, once Dave Gilmour goes, that's, oh my God, that'll be another one. But that again, that's another one of those personal ones for me. Where it's just like, oh no, that's going to happen. It's going to happen.
Maybe. Oh, okay. Maybe Philip Schofield. I'm not saying Philip Schofield will die, but when that happens, that's my childhood. That's me coming home from school, laying in front of the fire with a cup of tea and watching CBeebies or whatever it was called then.
Yeah.
Children's BBC.
The broom cupboard.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, we're seeking slowly but surely. We're seeking into the old Saturday morning TV stuff. I mean, Philip Schofield. He seems to have not aged a single jot. He's just changed his hair from black to white.
He did that thing years and years ago. I think once he came off the kids' TV and off of Going Live and stuff like that, then it was okay, serious time now. If I don't let it seep through now, then I never will, and I'll be forever dyeing it. So I'll take the bold move, and good luck to him on that as well. Yep. And that's it. I think once you hit like a white hair stage or a bald stage, then really there's no real age progression. That's it. You're either white or you're bald. Like I'm gonna be like this until I pop my clogs now.
Yeah. I'm just hoping that my body just decides that all dark hair will become white, because at the moment it looks like I'm still halfway through eating a badger. But it just doesn't seem to make it up. I mean, yeah, when you start talking about like the kids show characters, you start talking about like your Chris Tarrants and that kind of thing. I mean, can you imagine like when, like I say, you've got your Cheggers. What happens if Cheggers goes?
He has gone.
Has he?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh, I'm rocked to my core. Did he go?
He went about 2 years. I think he went in 16.
Did he?
Yeah. Hang on a second.
Oh man. You're doing me no favors whatsoever now. Oh no.
Keith Chegwin. Google search. He went in 2017.
Fuck.
Yeah. He's been dead over a year now.
Jesus. Oh, well, there you go. Well, I'm just going to need to take a 5 minutes out now.
Sorry, boss.
So let's just hear a 1 minute silence for Cheggers.
Let's all think about Naked Jungle for 1 minute.
Oh, fuck no. Which just reminds me, what about the banana splits? Whatever happened to them?
Well, I suppose in that sort of vein, you have like your Chris Evans as well, then, don't you?
Would that bother you? Would that bother you if he upped and fucking died? I mean, he's moved to Virgin Radio. He might as well be dead.
He has. I really liked him. See, okay, well then you're talking about like the Grand Tour guys as well. Then old what's his
Clarkson,
name?
Hammond, and May.
Yeah, Hammond. He's determined to kill himself in a car at the moment. So
it does seem like a mission.
Yeah, he's had 2 foul swoops at it. Maybe third time lucky next time. I don't know.
Yeah, each time it's like been a little longer in traction, and another Instagram photograph of him in like 500 tons of plaster trying to remember his own name. But I don't think that would necessarily bother me as much as, I don't know, because that they've almost planned for, haven't they? Because didn't they have that whole thing about like if one of them dies, they literally just have it as an aside at the opening of a show. Yeah,
I love it. And I so want to do that on Black Dog as well.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, if one of us fucking pegged it, I'd just, yeah. So Darren's dead. Anyway, this week we'll be doing our week was, and and then we'll be reviewing Atlantic Rim 2. Dear
listeners, Darren died today underneath a 53 bus.
Yeah, he was
anyway, Jim, how was your week?
Exactly. He was killed in a random hay bale accident. It was how he wanted to go.
His last words were, "What bus?"
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I bet I can jump this. Yeah. Oh dear. I tell you what, and this is probably another one of those things of getting too old, but I listen to Radio 2 now a lot.
I have that on my list of things. Yeah.
Go on in. Good, you go for it.
It's when your songs move over to Radio 2.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you find yourself tuning in. It's like, I remember listening to Capital Radio all the time. And then it just was like the same 6 songs over and over again. And as soon as you realize it's the same 6 songs over and over again, along with the DJ enthusiastically saying, and now it's new music from, and it's like, really? You said that 5 minutes ago and it was the same bloody song.
Mm-hmm.
And it moved over to Radio 2. So now I'm a full convert to fucking Ken Bruce in the morning and listening to Popmaster and 1 year out and all that kind of stuff. But then now I'm starting to get into that point of like, how old's Ken Bruce? Oh, fuck, if he goes, oh no. You know, oh no. And suddenly it's like my life is invested in a Radio 2 DJ. It's like, oh God.
Yeah, you've been drawn in. That's the thing. That's how they get you. They start putting your songs on Radio 2. I think that I had a moment of clarity with Capital years and years, when I was still at college, because people started putting the radio on when we was doing our coursework. And nobody mentioned it, but I was sat there going, we heard this song about an hour ago, and they would repeat it every hour. And you're like, I don't want to hear this song again. And then I started having my old man moment before my 20s, going, can we change the radio station? Can we do something else? And this is, I think, when Chris Evans was on Virgin for the first time before he went Radio 1. When it was
Absolute Radio, before it became Absolute Radio.
Well, yeah, I think he went Virgin and then bought it, didn't he? And then, hang on, what way did he go? Did he go Radio 1 and then Virgin, or?
No, he went to the BBC.
Yeah.
Then he acted like a dick, and then he left the BBC, went to Virgin Radio, which then became Absolute Radio, and he got basically kicked out.
That's it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And now Virgin Radio is a completely different thing, run from it's in the Shard, and you can only get it if you know special hexes and slaughter at least 2 goats over your digital console.
Well, it's part of Murdoch now, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah.
Even more reason not to listen to it.
Yeah, it's all part of the Murdoch stuff.
All I know is when they have to put a double-page spread in every newspaper of how to find Chris Evans on a digital radio station, that tells you that it's very hard to find this fucking radio station.
Yeah, but as we said, everything's going digital soon. So, but
yeah.
What I was going to say with that is, I totally forgot. But hang on, it's nearly there. Okay, I will move on to the second point that I was going to make, and maybe that first point might pop back in my head at some point. But, okay, I'm like an indie boy. I like all the indie music stuff, like the Blurs and the Oasis and all that sort of thing. And when my mum and dad were growing up and doing their growing up and stuff like that, it was the Beatles and the Stones and the Kinks and the Who and all that lot. And that was in the 60s. And the Oasis and the Blurs was all in the 90s. Give it another 10 years, I will be... Hang on. I've got to work this out. My kids will be as far away from the 90s as I was from the 60s when I was enjoying the 90s.
Yep.
That's going to blow my mind. That's going to really trouble me as well.
But the thing with music, and that's when you start to really notice your age, is when you start to hear old tracks being remixed into new tracks, and you go, no, that's that fucking song from like 1980 something. This person's just singing over the top of it and ruining it because, you know, the fucking Venga Boys knew what was up.
That's sacrilege, you know.
Yes, these cheeky girls knew that they were cheeky girls, and we don't need no rapper to come and bollocks it up. But you do, you find yourself, I can't remember what the song is now, but when the kids are in the car, we get a choice of basically Absolute Radio if we're lucky, or if we're unlucky, Crap It All FM.
Ooh.
And 9 times out of 10, there's a song on Crap It All where I'm like, if it's not Ed Sheeran, or someone trying to sound like Ed Sheeran, or a rapper who's got a voice running through an auto-tuner that makes some sound, sort of shit. Usually it's a song from like 1980s being remixed up the wazoo by some singer who's never heard of before and will never hear of again, because she will usually have a single name and the DJ's name will come in first.
Yeah.
So I'll be like DJ Jazzy Tim on the mic with Lucy, and it's like, who's Lucy? How would you identify Lucy in another song? Because you can't really hear her over the top of the and a random rapper coming in going, yeah, wow. But you know, in the background you're going, no, this is fucking Starlight by Superman Lovers being played in the fucking background from like 1990 something. You fuckers. And there's everyone going, no, this is really good and new and fresh. And it's like, no, it's not. Someone's just got an old song and stuck it in a randomizer and just pressed a couple of buttons.
Well, that's the generation thing, though, isn't it? I'm dreading the day when all of a sudden Nirvana is covered, seriously covered as well, and I'm sat there going, because I've heard a couple, and there's maybe one or two, and you're like, okay, that slightly gets a pass because it's in a film and it's done not correctly, but it's done differently, but it suits the film. So, okay, it gets a pass, but I wouldn't buy it. But as soon as someone comes up and headlines their Glastonbury, and then all of a sudden they cover a Nirvana song, but whoa, hang on a minute. Put the foot on the brake. Let's all sit down, think about what we're doing right now, because that ain't on. Let's all stop. Otherwise, I'm going to put rulers across the backs of legs.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, it's... Yeah. I mean, there's... God. I mean, there's... I don't want to tell you now.
See, I'm sure you really enjoyed the Scissor Sisters when they covered Pink Floyd, didn't you?
Yes. When the Scissor Sisters covered Comfortably Numb, I really just... If I was psychic in any way, shape or form, that's when I proved that I wasn't psychic, because I would have gone full blown fucking Akira at that point. There just would have been a hole in sort of the ground where Bromley was. As soon as I heard them singing, become comfortably numb, it's like, what the goddamn, what the fuck? I tell you, the last remix that had me, and I mentioned it on Black Dog, was the one that they did in fucking Aquaman by some prat called Bulldog or Pitbull or fucking Sausage Dog or whatever it was, and he covered Africa by Toto.
Oh yeah, I remember you saying about this. Yeah,
and there's people going, "This is a brilliant song. Pitbull's a fucking genius," and it's like, no, the bit you're remembering is the bit from the original song, which everyone remembers. The bit that no one's remembering is some random dick going, oh yeah, in the house, oh yeah, I'm laying there with the booty and slapping the ass and all this sort of thing, and then I'm gonna go there any way I can, sort of thing, and then going, I'm going to Africa, and then suddenly in comes a really piss poor cover of Africa by Toto, and you're like, no, that's a audio war crime, and you should be destroyed for even trying it. and Scissor Sisters, yeah. I didn't mind Scissor Sisters as a group, and then they did Comfortably Numb, and I wish death upon all of them because there is no reason for that whatsoever.
I know a few people like that. I think my father-in-law was, what is this? Everything just went cold. I remember that moment that he first heard it. It was like, oh. And everyone went silent. And he was like, no, this is wrong. This is just wrong.
It's a bit like...
the program is wrong.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I've seen Two Black Cats. The Matrix has got a glitch in it.
Yeah.
But
Deja vu.
I'll tell you what, yeah. It's a bit like I imagine how people would have from the 60s would have felt listening to Twist and Shout covered by Shaggy.
Oh yes.
You know, there's shake it up, baby, now shake it up, baby. Meanwhile, you got Shaggy going, no, yeah, the bone, there, man, dang, and you're like, what the fucking hell is this?
Who's this man eating a loaf of bread while he's trying to sing? I don't understand.
There appears to be a man trying to gargle with blue tack while apparently telling me that I should listen to Twist and Shout. If he just shut up, I would listen to it.
The rest of it's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think must have gone through that phase. There were, what other ones can I think of? Okay, I think Take That did a cover of a Barry Manilow song, didn't they? Could Be Magic?
They did that, and they also covered, was it How Deep Is Your Love by the Bee Gees?
Yeah, and so people must have been exploding about that. How dare they do that? And yet the young kids at the time were, oh, it's really nice. It's really nice.
Yeah.
Play it again.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just... no.
But nobody covers Bohemian Rhapsody. That just gets released every 13 years, I think it is. That's on some sort of witch's hex, I think.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, I mean, I'm almost tempted to get Tori Amos's Smells Like Teen Spirit cover up for you.
Shut your face.
Seriously.
Oh, there isn't, is there?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. No, don't do it on here. Don't.
No, I won't. No. But you know, just enjoy that. Just go and enjoy that. Because it's an emotional acoustic piano vocal version of Smells Like Teen Spirit by Tori Amos.
I've just thought of another thing. Okay, right. You know, when you're getting old, when all these covers are starting coming out and they're into like a new program, and Westworld did this, didn't they? Where they they stuck all them songs and they were all like collaborations and had their little Western twist to them, and then stuck in underneath all that was going on throughout Westworld. And
didn't they cover The Man Who Sold the World as well? Which was also the Nirvana arrangement.
And Black Hole Sun and lots of others. I think they did Radiohead Creep as well.
Oh God, yeah.
So that's all starting to happen as well. God, yes. Yeah. I was quite happy and upbeat. Now I'm thinking, oh God, I'm so fucking old. So just turn it off now. Just turn off.
Well, it's kind of interesting. I mean, you know, one of the things we said right at the top was one of the subjects brought up was things like, you know, Saturday morning TV. And it's kind of funny to see, like, you know, see some of the old, what's old is new again. Because they've got a TV thing like, you know, like they used to have Going Live and Tiz Was and SMTV and all these old sort of Saturday morning TVs, which would always have like two presenters, maybe one co-presenter who was kind of sort of in there for a bit of glam, and then basically, yeah, exactly, a formative year for the young Medcalf, and you would and you'd watch some of that stuff, though. I tell you what, Sally James, oh man, I tell you. Anyway, and the thing was, you sort of like, they used to sort of do that thing of just like having a rough sort of schedule, but the script was kind of unrehearsed and just complete chaos.
Philippa Forrester for me.
Oh man. Yeah,
sorry, I needed to drop that one in there.
Yeah, you see, this is the thing. See, now we're Cat Deely, man.
Yeah.
Anyway. See, and these lovely, lovely ladies are all now in their 50s. But it's like suddenly you're seeing, like I see on CBBC now, which is like the standard kids channel, pretty much.
Yeah.
There you are looking at it, and they're doing exactly the same thing now, called the Big Smash Up or Live Smash TV or something like that. Okay. And it's exactly the bloody same. Half rehearsed scripts, things going wrong. You can hear all the audience in the, and the cameramen in the background laughing their asses off when things go wrong. Occasionally it's live, but occasionally you hear things kind of going awry, and then like one of the puppet characters will say something that's completely off script and make everyone corpse. You're like, and everyone's like heralding this thing as like the second coming of TV entertainment, and you're like, no, I'm sorry. I was watching kids get basically hit in the face with cream pies, and while Chris Tarrant completely throws a script all over the stage and then shouts at Lenny Henry, "This is what they want," and that was back in the 70s.
Yeah, it's been and gone and come back again, and the thing that does sit there is the puppets. They've always kind of been there, and you do get like your corpsing moments. I know I grew up with Gordon the Gopher and Ed the Duck and stuff like that, but then it moved on to Zig and Zag as well, and some of their moments, they had me. I was dying with them some of them times. Flipping brilliant.
Yeah, when they're live, definitely. I mean, Zig and Zag have now become a cartoon.
Oh yeah, they became a cartoon years ago, I think.
Yeah, they got resurrected as a cartoon in about sort of 2016.
Ah, okay.
But because that's another one of my sort of evening staples when I get home. Oh, great. Yeah, completely unfunny. But the puppets and the corpsing. I mean, from Roland Rat to Gordon the Gopher to Gilbert the Alien, and the Phantom Flamflinger, who wasn't strictly a puppet, but then you had Spit the Dog. Yeah, I mean, all of that stuff.
Was that started with Emu as well, though? Maybe.
Yeah, Emu. I mean, Rod Hull and his pink, the pink windmill.
That's it.
Which now would get him on a register if he suddenly Rod Hull shows you his pink windmill.
I think nearly all of them characters are dead now.
Yeah,
because the witch died a couple of years ago, didn't she?
Yeah, old Grot Bags.
Yeah,
she died. I mean, she died, and Rod Hull died because he climbed up on his roof, didn't he? To do his aerial and fell off.
He was trying to watch a Man U match. Poor
That's son. Right. Yeah. He went up to do the aerial and died. The funeral was pretty glum, but the reception was amazing.
Anyway, right.
A brief moment there for Rod Hull.
But yeah, Grot Bags used to scare the shit out of me.
Really?
Yeah. Grot Bags, and see, maybe this is like an episode all of itself, like TV characters that scared the shit out of you. But Wurzel Gummidge and Grot Bags.
Yeah, Wurzel Gummidge and Grot Bags. Well, Wurzel Gummidge didn't bother me as much as the Crow Man who brought him to life. Because there was the old guy with the top hat that brought them both to life, didn't it? And he had the feather.
I don't know. I think you're pushing buttons in my brain that don't want to be pushed.
Because and I tell you who was frightening. really frightening on children's TV. Fucking Mr. Nosy Bonk.
Yeah, I was reminded of that a couple of years ago, and I once again I'd totally forgotten about that. My mind had pushed it off and gone, look, you don't need to deal with this anymore. He's gone. Mm. And then someone brought it up, and it was just that, and my nails dug into the table. I was like, shit. I went all cold. I was like, no, I remember that bastard. I remember him, and he terrified me.
Well, I tell you what, if you want something really terrifying, Charlie Brooker of Black Mirror and previous episode fame, he did a thing on his Screen Wipe series where he talked about TV, and he did a thing about kids' TV, and he did a little skit based on the fact that Mr. Nosy Bonk was this terrifying figure, and you'd imagine that if you saw his face come round the side of the door at the middle of the night, you'd expect him to just stand there and stab you and stab you and stab you and stab you and stab you. And it's going on for about 5 minutes of stab you and stab you and stab you and stab you. And if you look up Charlie Brooker, Mr. Nosy Bonk, it's on YouTube. It is quite genuinely one of the most terrifying things you'll ever see in your life. So there you go. But yeah, we are starting to slowly crawl into kids' TV and feeling old because of that. But I mean, like, do you think nowadays? See straight away nowadays in our day, we were really trusting. I mean, can you imagine? I mean, I wouldn't buy a fucking thing off of Facebook Marketplace, but back in the 70s. Old Keith Chegwin and Maggie Philbin and Noel Edmonds were sitting there going, oh, so you want to swap a car for an Atari console? Oh, yeah, that's fine. Go on, we'll just give each other the address. You send them over. It's like, what? Fucking Noel Edmonds multicolour swap shop?
Yeah, trading numbers, and the BBC doesn't frown upon you if you stab this person to death, but here's their number, here's their address, they'll be in at this time. That's that kind of freaky. I don't, you couldn't make a program like that anymore, I don't think.
No, and see, comments like that, couldn't make things like that anymore. Jesus. Back in my day, health and safety.
Really? Bloody health and safety. I've done it again then. You made me do that one.
I did. I lured you into that one, but it was just that whole thing of like, straight away. It's just like back in my day, they had multicolored swap shop. We trusted people. Hey. Do you think a bit of politics? But you think that people talking like this in a non-ironic way are why we're doing Brexit? They want to get back to multicolored swap shop and being in the 70s.
Yeah, you want to be really scared? Try climbing a pylon after your frisbee.
Yeah, exactly. And there'd be Donald Pleasance hiding in the bush going, "Be careful, children, because when the Grim Reaper will be waiting for you." It's another thing in the fucking children's TV public service announcement.
Yeah. Okay, so do you have waves of this with your kids? Do you have, oh God, they're, 14 now. They're 13 now. Oh, they're both in secondary school. Do you have waves of that going, oh God, that makes me feel old?
Yeah. I mean, Katie's now talking about doing GCSEs. I mean, she's 14. She's just taken her options. Mm-hmm. And she's looking at all that stuff. And Lisa's sort of 3 years younger, so she's 11 going on 12, and it's like you're sitting there going, I remember sitting in this very house when you were born, and now what started off as a blob in a basket that just wouldn't shut up at like 3 o'clock in the morning, now you're a 11-year-old asking for an iPhone.
Yeah.
And it's like you sort of, and we've got photographs on the stairs of them at different ages, which is a bit cheesy in and of itself. And that's something you kind of, do you remember when you used to have bedrooms with posters of like Rambo or, Claudia, what's her name? Claudia Schiffer or something like that, all on the posters on the wall. Now you got pictures of babies and dogs and
Right.
holidays and shit like that, and you're like,
I had cars and bands.
I had Cindy Crawford in a American flag bikini, and a 12-foot long USS Enterprise. Read into that precisely what you like, but it was
that USS Enterprise is a massive cock block for that Claudia Schiffer or whoever it was.
Cindy Crawford.
Cindy Crawford, yeah.
Well, not as much as the alien poster that was on the back of the door.
The one where he's breaking through the door?
Yeah.
I had that one as well.
Yeah, it's about 5 foot tall.
Yeah. That was terrifying the first night.
Yeah, it wasn't good. I mean, that was the problem. You sort of like, you go back to these days, you're kind of thinking, God, how did I ever get it on with anyone when I bring them back to a room which basically had a monster breaking through a door, a 12-foot long poster of the Enterprise D, and a bikini clad lady on a wall. I mean, it's just like, it practically screams the word virgin as loud as it possibly could.
It's like Wesley Crusher's bedroom.
Well, yeah, but without the interesting coloured jumpers. I mean, it was just, man, stuff like that.
I had cars. I had. Hang on. I had the Alien. I had an aerial shot of Glastonbury.
Right.
It looked really cool. Lots of tents and lots of people. I thought it was amazing. I had Nirvana, a big Nirvana one on there. Guy killed himself.
Yeah.
And an MP4.
A gun?
No.
Machine gun.
Hang on. Let's see if this will type in to Google.
An MP44. It's not a bloody file format. A picture of Wikipedia of file compression.
No, if you Google MP4/4.
Oh, a flappy paddle car.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, I see. Wow. We were two peas in the same pod, really, in terms of like
that.
Any
That's my Starship Enterprise, really, isn't it?
Yeah. It's got more wheels than an Enterprise, but I don't think the anti-girlfriend league would. I think as far as girlfriend repellent's concerned, it's on the same par.
It is, isn't it? I just realised that. It's like, there's my Enterprise right there.
Yeah. You're just lacking an Athena print with a lady scratching her bum with a tennis racket. I mean, yeah.
My captain was Elton Senna.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh God. I mean, because I maybe this is probably a bit too much for this podcast. Please cut it out if you think it's too much. But
hang on, let me timestamp it, and then there'll be an awkward break if we do.
Yeah, but I always remember like when Carol came back one night, and she came back, and she stayed over, and we're sort of just lying there. She obviously wears glasses, and so she's not wearing her glasses, and so we're in this room. And all of a sudden, she just looks over at this Enterprise, and she goes, "What's that?" I'm like, and she goes, "It looks like you've got a 12-foot long marshmallow on the wall. Why have you got a marshmallow on the wall?" I'm like, "What?" And then I to this day, I said something which I just thought, any other day, I would I would not have got away with this. I went, "Excuse me, that is a Galaxy class starship." And she went, "What?" I mean, I couldn't have. I mean, if I just said that's my collection of dead hookers over there, I don't think I could have had a more, shall we say, cooling effect on the room.
Yeah.
I just went, "Yeah, that's a Galaxy class starship." And she said, "What?" And I said, "Star Trek." She went, "Star Trek?" I was like, "Yeah." And she goes, so what's that then? I went, it's the Enterprise. And she went, the Enterprise.
When she said, when she said, so what's that? You sat bolt upright and went, well, let me introduce you to my collection.
Exactly. Throw the covers off and go, well,
we're going to have some fun now.
Yeah. According to Michael and Denise Okada's Mr. Scott's Guide to the Enterprise, that is the left nacelle that maintains a warp bubble on the left-hand side of the ship. It's just like, oh my fucking God.
Strap yourself in, darling. We're going to have a ride.
This is only going to get more fun. I can guarantee it. Allow me to show you my full collection of spaceship photos. It's just like, oh, I mean, how she is still with me nearly 25 years later after that inauspicious start. It's beyond me. It really is. I count my lucky stars, because I literally think she must have just walked out that next morning and just went, what the fuck was that? I've walked to Trekkie Ted Bundy's house.
That was your sliding door moment, wasn't it? There is a moment where she goes, okay, I'll go with this. And a moment where she goes, nah, I'm all right.
Yeah. There's a moment where she goes with it. And there's a moment where she goes, right, I'll be right back and I'll see you later. and then you just hear the door closing behind you.
I'll just go powder my nose, and you're like, right, I'll get my DVDs out. Here we go. Yeah. Episode 1 in the play.
Yeah. Encounter at Farpoint. This is when you get the most brilliant shot of the Enterprise for the first time, when you get Captain Picard framed in the darkness in the window of his ready room. A ready room like you don't see in any other shot anywhere else in any of the other things until Best of Both Worlds Part 2. It's just like,
but we won't skip. We need it's like a fine wine. We need this to breathe. We need to get there.
Exactly. Oh God. Yeah.
There's me with my reviews of the year of Formula One as well.
Yeah. Oh yes. Yeah. Exactly. This was, of course, the most amazing Monaco Grand Prix. This was the car that Ayrton Senna won the championship in 1988, and then he won it in 1990 with the next version up. But he had to fight the steering a little bit. The 1984 Monaco Grand Prix and Portuguese Grand Prix in 1985, he really did well with his car in wet weather performance.
Bravo.
Thank you. That was rapid wikiing. You have no idea.
Oh no, I heard it.
Yeah, as my voice went.
No, it was the 1988 and then 90. I was like, hang on, no, that's correct. Oh, okay. Oh no, okay. He's talking to our good friend Wikipedia.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, when he started in 1983, Senna tested the Formula One teams Williams, McLaren, and Brabham and Tolman. It was Peter Warr of Lotus and Ronald Dennis of McLaren and Bernie Eccleston of Brabham that made offers for testing in 1984. No, come back. Put your pants back on. We've only just got started.
We're not even into the 90s yet.
Yes. I haven't even got how it relates to Mario Kart. Yeah. See? But nowadays, Tinder. Nowadays, you just go, yeah, fancy a fuck, flick. There you go. Woo!
Never downloaded it. I know of it. I know of other ones like Grindr as well, but that's like a slightly different one, isn't it?
Well, you see, let's be honest. Again, this is where you show your age, you see, because the pair of us are talking about this, and neither of us have gone anywhere near it. No. We just know what we heard on Jeremy Vine in Radio 2.
That is also an argument waiting to happen. Because
what's that?
Well, I haven't downloaded any of these. I know what it is. I'm not even curious. That is well, hang on. There's a cloud sign next to that. That means it's been downloaded and then deleted. So who downloaded that? And everyone's like, no, not me. not me. But no, that's just an argument waiting to happen. Even if you like download it and look at it and go, no, this is just clearly not for me at all. Thank you very much. Goodbye. But that's just that is just an argument. That's a hand grenade waiting, I feel.
So that's happened?
No, that hasn't happened because I haven't downloaded it at all.
Okay. We'll just leave that one hanging there. Not judging.
You can come round my house and check.
No, it's all right. I'll
that's not an invitation, by the way. I promise you.
No. I've got enough posters of MP4/4s.
Well, I have 4 in rolls ready for you and waiting.
Well, you're in luck because I have a full blueprint layout of the NCC 1701D bridge and how it correlates to the NCC 1701E bridge. But you know what? The E and the D, you shouldn't do that. You should give them totally different registration numbers and keep the names.
Well, I have wiring looms for the FW14B, which ran between 1991 and 1992. So if you ever need them or require anything very similar, then just knock on my door.
Brilliant. And I'll bring along my plans for the Heisenberg compensator that works inside the transporter unit of the Enterprise D. It takes care of the Heisenberg uncertainty principle, which I think you know what that is.
We're just doing like geek tennis now, aren't we?
Yeah, I know. But the thing is, none of it's newer than like 1989.
No, that's right. Well, actually, in 1990, a Ferrari were testing the semi-automatic gearbox, but they did have it was proven problematic, and so they didn't have it until 1991.
Oh, that'd be almost the same time as when Star Trek First Contact was in development, and they decided to make the Borg more threatening by introducing nanobot assimilation.
Right, I feel that we've reached the end of this episode now.
Well, yeah, I don't know. We've got some more to go, but I think so. I think basically Old Men Shout at Cloud is what this is. This is Old Men Shout at Clouds 2.
No, part 3 now. This is part 3.
Oh, right.
If it's Old Man, if we're doing should we put it down as Old Man Shout at Clouds?
I think so, because, I mean, essentially, every time we've tried to talk about something that makes us feel old, we ended up ranting about it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, why not?
Part 3 then. There we go.
Digital downloads. Kids playing multiplayer games, not seriously. The love of simulation games and management games. The fact that no one understands our love of certain posters. I mean, you know.
The female repellents.
How to
stop
exactly.
ladies from coming in your door.
Or coming anywhere, to be honest. If you show a picture of a McLaren. Oh, look, here's a man who managed to kill himself by putting a toe in his shotgun. Come over here. Sit down. Right beside my alien poster. In fact, there's probably... Yeah, exactly. I'm sure there's a whole anti-Tinder episode that could be done, just like terrible misadventures and misunderstandings and just things going wrong in that sort of thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Just need to find someone brave enough to say it all.
Yeah. Right, I think we will draw it to a close there. Thank you very much, Lee. It's been excellent. I've thoroughly enjoyed this. It's been good. It's been cathartic. It's well welcomed. I've needed this, so yeah. Cheers, man. Thank you very much.
No problems. You're welcome, mate.
Right. So now that we're at the end, this is the bit where we get to plug our wares. So, Lee, what have you got to plug for these kind ladies and gentlemen that are listening to this? They're still listening to this. Imagine that. They're still here.
They're not listening. They, like I say, see, that's the other thing. See, you're starting me off. See, I know now. We have stats for this shit. We know they stop listening after a certain point in time. Fucking part-time listeners coming in on fucking anyway.
Anyway, now you've abused the listeners. Why don't you try and sell them something?
Yes, hey everyone. If you want to come and part-time listen and part-time contribute to the Patreon of the Black Dog Podcast, then you can head on over to blackdogpodcast.com. You can also subscribe on iTunes. Our Patreon is Black Dog Podcast on Patreon. And yes, and personally, you can see my artwork stuff on Instagram, which is at CartoonBeardy. I think that's about it.
Oh, I think there's an episode with inspiration as well. That might be a good one.
Oh, inspiration and creativity.
There we go. Okay, right. There's the title of a next one.
Cool. Well,
creativity. Okay, right. You're booking in for that one as well?
I'll book in for that one.
Okay,
and if you're going live, I'm sure there'll be more than a few people coming in on that.
Okay. What, 2 weeks' time, maybe?
Yeah, fine. I'm happy with that.
Okay, right, there you go. We're all booked in for the next episode. Sweet.
Hey.
It's like it's planned and everything.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So, yeah, pop over to blackdogpodcast.com. Please give them a review in iTunes or the podcatcher that you use as well. It helps immensely in every single aspect of that show. So please do that. Do that for Jim's shows, Hypnogoria, isn't it? I always get this confused now. And all the other stuff like the Great Derelict and is it the bOrgcast? I forget.
bOrgcast is called bOrgcast Galactica now.
That's
and they're doing Battlestar Galactica from the early 70s all the way up to the Ronald D. Moore nonsense-a-thon. But it's gritty and it has sex and boobs. Hey, so therefore it must be the best. Yeah. Sorry, I'm doing it again. I'm doing the old man thing again.
Yeah, that's all right. We're still on the show. It's good. It's good. You can catch me on the new show, which is Into The Expanse, where me and Andy talk about The Expanse. The old show now is coming up for season 4 now. We've started at season 1, working our way through. Andy's seen it a couple of times, and I'm watching it for the very first time. So what you're hearing is Andy going, I want to see this. I can't see this. I know what's happening. And me going, I don't know what's happening at all. So if you like that sort of stuff, then please tune into that. We have the Grand Prix podcast as well. That's coming back very soon, maybe within the next month. I think that's coming back. So stay tuned for that one. That's going to be a ripper. And I can't think of anything else that we've done. Oh, Flix Capacitor, that's still there. We're still waiting for things to fall into place for that as well. So I'm sure that will happen soonish. And all that sort of stuff can be found over at RogueTwoMedia.com. So there we go. I think that's all the plugging done.
Cool. We're all done.
Okay. Well, it just leaves me to say thank you very much, Lee, for joining me for this and helping me through.
No, thank you for having me. It's been fun.
Good man. And it just leaves me to say, please leave quietly. This is a residential area.